This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on
classic
YouTube
opening.
and audio wherever you listen to your podcast.
Can't beat this.
Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors.
Yeah. What do we talk?
Star Wars news and things. Star Wars related
from a galaxy far, far away.
Here's your host, Brock and James. Thanks, Aaron. We are back, baby.
Brock, I gotta. We are back. It's been a while, as the band once said, but I've got to. I gotta bring something up, Brock.
Let's do it.
The screen. I don't even know if I'm on the screen. Nothing is on my screen.
Okay. Now we're back.
I got to bring this up. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Skywalker Academy. I have to bring this up. This is a big deal in Star Wars. I didn't want to tell you about it when we were talking just before we went live. But Ahsoka 1 and 2 came up yesterday. And right after, when the last credit rolled, guess what? Kathleen Kennedy officially let go from Lucasfilm. Check the board. She was fired. She's gone. So no one has to worry about Kathleen Kennedy anymore. Kathleen Kennedy is fired from Lucasfilm. One too many bombs. Heidi is in Cape May, New Jersey, and
Cape May, the force be with you, Heidi. Yeah, what a time!
Good time.
Like that flex of dropping the first 2 episodes Tuesday night instead of Wednesday morning. Loved it. I was like, it's must-see TV.
Yeah, it's like a TV show again. It's funny because like a day or two before they announced that, I was like, I am not looking forward to waking up and having to watch Star Wars before it gets ruined by the idiots online. I wish they would just release it because I think Amazon released the Lord of the Rings show at like 11 p.m. the night before Eastern
That sounds
time.
familiar.
I watched it, whatever. That never got ruined because everybody hated it and nobody watched it by the end. But I was like, why can't they do that? And then they did it and they did it better. Although Disney, and no offense to people on the West Coast, but Disney's like the only company on earth that's like Pacific time is the only time that matters. They were like 6 p.m. Pacific. Whoever starts anything with Pacific time. No offense again. I love the West Coast. It's way nicer. California girls, we all know the story, Brock. But no one cares. New York time, the stock exchange. That's what counts, right?
I suppose. But Heidi makes a good point. European fans are not happy. Before we get to Ahsoka, though, another big thing that happened that's Star Wars adjacent, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, a.k.a. this is what I would make Star Wars into, released today. I didn't know it was Netflix. I thought it was going to be a movie. So this is perfect because, like, I don't.
Well, it is a movie. It's 2 movies.
Well, yeah, you're right. It is a movie. It's Zack Snyder. It's going to be 4 hours long.
Well, so actually, I think I brought this. This is what happened. So he wanted to do a 4-hour movie, and Netflix, the head of Netflix or whoever said, "No, Zack Snyder, you can't do a 4-hour movie. You can do a 2-hour movie." And this is the truth. This is actually what he said. He said you could do a 2-hour movie. Anything more, people aren't watching. You could do an 8-episode series that's like 16 hours and people will watch all night. But a movie has to be 2 hours. I find that wild. So he did 2 movies. So it's 2 2-hour movies, which I prefer because 4-hour movies, as much as I love his Justice League, it is way too long.
It's way too long. You can't have an asterisk on every single film you make going forward. Yeah, look, Zack Snyder, I don't think Star Wars is for him looking at this trailer, but like I'm excited for this. Like
you should actually preface that or preface that by saying, hey, you think the trailer looks amazing? Because people are going to say, hey, you think it looks bad because it doesn't look like Star Wars. It looks fantastic.
Oh no, it looks great. Like I'm a person that enjoys Sucker Punch, the movie.
Yes, I saw it in the theater with you.
Yeah, that's right. Just the cinematics. It's like the story is weird, but like the whole action scenes is like, this is what Zack Snyder should do forever. And this trailer looks exactly. I'm like, it looks sick. But I agree with what I read today. It's like it's more Dune than Star Wars. Once you look at it, you're like, Yeah.
Which is funny because I brought that up to you separately, thinking because I'm looking forward to this movie because I'm actually a big Zack Snyder fan.
Yeah.
I don't think he should do Star Wars. I think you mentioned it before. He is Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder. Yeah. But again, George Lucas wanted to do Buck Rogers. He got Star Wars. Zack Snyder wanted to do Star Wars. He gets fine. It works out. Yeah. But I got halfway through the trailer and I was like, I can't do this. And like we said, like I can't get through Dune. There's like a level of like sci-fi and fantasy where I get to where I just can't keep going.
Yeah.
And Dune hit it out of the park. And I can't. And I love Denis Villeneuve. Like everybody in, I really want to watch it. I just can't. It's just not for me. And this trailer, I was like, yeah, you're closer to that than to Star Wars. And I couldn't finish it. And plus, I'm going to watch them. Whether I finish the movie or not, it's a different story. But I'm going to watch the movie, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Ahsoka trailer. And I don't need a trailer for Rebel Moon because I'm going to watch Rebel Moon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm excited for that. So it's like it's cool, but like if you watch Ahsoka, the aesthetic is still. This is what George Lucas would think of. Like the picture looks better, but like. The technology still looks like the 80s, and there's no way Zack Snyder would be like, I will not play by the rules. I will do what I want. Like, I base this on nothing.
Well, I think that's part of the reason. I think that's part of the reason why they shafted it was he wanted like the sex and the swearing and stuff, and they're like, that's Star Wars. Yeah, like you don't do that in Star Wars. Wow. So I don't. Hey, have you seen Painkiller on Netflix? Speaking of Netflix?
No, but I know our friend Brett worked on it.
He worked on it. Yeah, he told me to watch it. I said it's out. I had no idea it was out. So, and the funny thing was, Aaron watched Lioness, the Lioness show by Taylor Sheridan. She loves Taylor Sheridan. She doesn't see Yellowstone, but she likes Sicario and all that.
Yeah.
So she's watched that show. And she was like, what show is like it? So she Googled what show is like Lioness. And number one thing that came up was Painkiller. And I go, Aaron, it's just because it's streaming doesn't mean it's anything like it. So we're going to watch it because Brett worked on it. Our friend Brett worked on it. But I haven't yet. So I will eventually. I didn't know it was. I just want to know if you saw it because you
I'm so behind on everything. Like. And now that Ahsoka's here, I'm like, that will be my for sure go-to. But like, I haven't finished season 2 of The Bear. I'm barely into the new season of Solar Opposites, and there's just so many things.
Solar Opposites?
Yeah, it's like the same guys that make Rick and Morty, but they're aliens. Oh, it's on Disney Plus.
Is it? I don't.
I have discovered that I will watch stuff if it's on Disney Plus. I am. Because you know what? Let's get to Ahsoka. But like one thing Disney Plus gets so right. I don't know if you noticed this, but like when they put a theme in, they're like, let's go. Like Ahsoka launches and it's like
Mando.
Mando. Yeah. Watch. Yeah.
And they tell you what episode.
Yeah. And then which episode? And if you go further down, it's like when it's Christmas and Halloween, where like here's all your Halloween stories.
Yeah, I love that.
They did that with
Last year when Selena was a month old, I watched all the Halloween stuff that they had on their list basically at 3 a.m. while I fed her because she can't see past her nose at that point. So I'd be feeding her and I'm watching like Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And by the way, everyone gave Haunted Mansion a hard time for coming out in July. They're like, it's a Christmas, it was a Halloween movie. Why's it coming out in July? And then like 2 weeks later, the Dracula movie came out and like, and no one said boo about that coming out. It's like both of them bombed, by the way. And but I do the Dracula movie. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm like, I'm all in on this. Dracula on a boat. I've never read Dracula. I'm not into Dracula, but I'm like, I'm all in on this trailer. I don't know what it is, but I was like, I really want to see this on Netflix, not in the theater, but I will see that movie.
It's like the beginning part of Dracula. That's like 10 pages. Now they made it into a movie.
It sounds like such a cool idea for a movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Although I heard though, like when you see it looks too fake, or like that's what ruins the movie. Basically, it's like turns into like a CG fest. Yeah. Which whatever. But yeah, I've actually never read Dracula.
It's pretty good.
Maybe I should one day.
Yeah.
I think I have it on my iBooks because Apple Books. I don't know if you know this, but they used to give like old books used to be free. Nice. Like every Charles Dickens book was free. On the Kobo, it's like $10 for these. I'm like, these are free books on Apple Books. Yeah. But I don't like reading. Like I know you do, but I don't really read that much on my iPad or my phone. Like unless it's like articles, because whatever. But I'm like, but it's free, so I think I might actually have it on Apple Books. I know I've read Frankenstein a million times, but that one I have free. I got that free on my Apple Books. Anyway, I don't know if it's still free or not. I haven't looked forever. Oh, by the way, you can buy my book. I don't have a copy of it. This is a terrible promotion. Anyway, Ahsoka came out 1 and 2. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Initial reaction after watching both episodes. What is your instinct on what do you feel about it?
I really enjoyed both of them a lot. It made me remember how much I liked Rebels. I think that was my big thing. It's like, man, I really like these characters. These are great characters, and it was cool seeing them and I didn't feel awkward watching them in live action. I felt like I was watching like a movie based on something that I loved as a kid, even though I wasn't a kid at all. It was weird. But I told you I had a couple gripes with it.
Right.
There was a few small things. There's 3 things, but one I can't remember and I never can. You'll probably bring it up and I'll be like, that's the other thing I don't like. But the two glaring things for me that threw me off was Sabine getting stabbed through the abdomen with a lightsaber. I'm getting so tired of that. It's like, do I fear a lightsaber anymore? They don't do any harm. They're like, no, other than the captain at the beginning, who we joked when we saw the trailer survived, and he probably did. No one dies from a lightsaber stabbing anymore, so why bother stabbing anyone? Just freaking force throat, push them away, and then run off or something. I don't know, throw like a vent in their face like Vader did to Luke. So that kind of annoyed me. But the other thing too is, and this is something we talked about with Mandalorian season 3, with Book of Boba Fett, and with Obi-Wan Kenobi, is I'm getting this feeling like this could have just been a movie. And I don't mean like just a movie. Yeah. I mean, it could have been a very kick-ass movie. But instead, it's going to be episodic. It's going to be weekly, and it's just going to be because the first episode ended, and you're like, "Oh, it was Mandalorian season 3." The first episode was so abrupt on the ending, and that's how this one felt too. Where it's like she gets stabbed, it's like, "Da-da!" Like what the hell just happened? Because it didn't feel like a cliffhanger because she's not dead because it doesn't matter anymore. So anyway, but other than that, I thought the live action versions of Hera and Sabine were phenomenal.
Yep.
I love the second episode. I heard someone say the second episode slowed things down. I think I preferred the second episode. I love that you see like how the New Republic still has Imperials working for them and they trust them. They might be like trust a little too much and there's things going on. I love learning that. There was just so much that worked out there. And I don't need, I can't remember what was in the first episode versus the second. I watched them back to back, so they blend in. But like the map, it's weird that they always have maps to things, but I kind of liked how they did the map and the world that opened up with Morgan Elsbeth, like when she opened up the giant globe map. That to me was equal in a lot of ways to the episode of Andor with the lights in the sky. It was like I'm like I want to see more of this. Like it just looked great, and I can't wait to see more. But I feel like this is going to be like a movie or a binge show in the end. But whatever. We get to talk about it and watch it weekly.
Yeah, no, I'm about the same. I agree. The lightsaber through I wasn't fazed by it at all. I think I said to you off pod that like the trailer kind of ruins some of this stuff, though I think it's good because, and you said this too, like I think the trailer is showing most of the first 2 episodes, which is always smart. But then like you can't show me Sabine with long hair and short hair and then be like, we killed her in the first episode. I'm like come on. She's the main character.
Exactly. And I think we said this at the top too, was like that opening scene with the 2 dark Jedi.
Yes.
Like they were like, they're Jedi. Yeah. I'm like, well, we know what they are. Yeah. I wish we didn't know what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you avoid that. But.
You would have fooled us. Like if you just opened with there's 2 Jedi and you're like, my wife was watching with me and she thought Ray Stevenson, she heard his voice before she saw him. It's like, is that Qui-Gon Jinn? I'm like, no.
Okay. R.I.P. Like he was made for Star Wars. Like, he was so good in this. I was like, oh man, like it's so unfortunate. His passing is, but anyway, but like he's so good in this. And he says when he says elusive, I was like,
yeah.
This is like he is a Star Wars guy. He was like, I don't know. He didn't have enough screen time, but he took me back to like Alec Guinness and like A New Hope.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, he's just got it. Like even more so, arguably more so than Qui-Gon, like than Liam Neeson had in Qui-Gon. Like he just took me right. I was like, freak, there's something about this that's just like amazing.
Yeah. So like, it's where was I going with that? Yeah. No, I fully agree with if we didn't have the trailer with all that stuff and it wasn't announced who Ray Stevenson is and the other female actress who I don't know the name yet, but I'm sure we will by the end of the series.
Shin Hati.
Yeah. No, is that her actual name?
That's her movie name. I don't know what her name is.
If we didn't know, we would have been fooled. I like the fact that it wasn't like we're pretending to be Jedi and then they get off the ship and they're back in blacks. Like I'm very interested with the relationship of these two, especially like it's like master and apprentice, which is fine. But like they don't look like Inquisitors, they don't look like Sith, and then they're hanging out with this new Inquisitor.
It sounded to me like they were, or at least he was a Jedi.
Yeah.
And when Order 66 happened or sometime after the Clone Wars, maybe Order 66 or whatever, he kind of went on his own. He's basically like a work for hire, like a bounty hunter almost.
It's interesting
That's what
though,
I kind of got from it.
Because like, even though we know this is in the Mandoverse, like there was so many times I had to tell myself, was like, this is happening. Oh, I actually don't even know. Is this happening after Mandalorian?
I think this is happening during season 3.
Yeah, right. So it's like this is post Return of the Jedi. So that's pretty cool.
It's 9 years. I think they say it's 9 years after.
Right. So it's just like the thought of like Ray Stevenson's character is a delusioned Jedi or that's still like out of the like that's kind of fun. I don't know if people are liking that or not. But going back, my initial response to this was like, I feel like I have to watch. I watched the second episode twice because I felt like I missed details. I am happy with this show, but like, I don't know. It sounds terrible because I've always been against this. It's like you didn't have a shock moment where you're like, oh, there was a lot of times where like the references to Rebels was like great. And like visually, this show looks awesome. I know I'm going to watch these episodes a bunch of times. They look cool. Like I kind of just want to have them on a monitor while I'm working and just see it, right? But I wasn't like, yeah, like a lot of these Disney Plus shows, like the Marvel and the Star Wars. Typically, in the first episode or series of episodes, you're like, yeah, like I'm up for the ride, but I wasn't like, this is life-changing, but that's okay. Like it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean?
That's why I was like, no, exactly, and that's why I think it's more of a movie where it's like this just plays, like it just plays out. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't anticlimactic, but it was. It wasn't like it's not in your face, which is fine, but again, it's weird because it's fine, but it's not modern. And I don't know how people are going to react to that. And I don't want to pay attention to the comments either. But like it doesn't have that moment. And that's again, I think this is going to be like Mandalorian season 3 for me. I think where it's the sum of all of its parts. Where I think it's going to be like when it's over, we're going to be like, that was great. I think that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like the whole thing as a whole is going to be phenomenal. Like I think like Stranger Things would suck if it was weekly. Not suck. I shouldn't say suck, but it wouldn't have the impact it does because you can watch 2 episodes at a time, 3 episodes at a time. You like I said, we just watched that Lioness show, and she watched the first 5. Like she was 5 episodes behind, so she watched 5 in a row. And I could see her watching it that those had a bigger impact, the earlier ones, than when it stopped, and she had to wait because again, it's like even though that show is definitely more episodic than these Star Wars shows, like it kind of feels like, but it's still the through line. We're in such a different world that if you don't have that wow factor in each week, I don't know how people react to that. And I'm too old. Like I've realized now. Not that I realize now, but I know I'm too old to be in the demographic that matters, really, because I'm old and I will sit and watch slow crap. Like I watch Jaws. Like I'll watch something slow that takes the time. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right about that though. It didn't have like an oomph moment. I guess the bean, but that's not.
It had the flex of like going back to like this should be a movie that opens with a crawl, that crawl, and it was a menacing crawl. Like I was just like the crawl in the first 5 minutes of the episode. I was like, I'm in. Let's do this. Even though we've seen this footage already, I was like, this looks sweet. I'm in. I'm like I was done. So like my response on this is like, if you love Rebels, you will love this show. It's like the perfect companion. But I'm curious, like Reham hasn't fully watched these 2 episodes, so I'm gonna like see what she thinks with not knowing anything. I've mentioned things and all that, but like it's it's not really. She might not be like, I don't know, why do I care about these characters? So
that's kind of how Aaron was going in, and then you mentioned they had that recommendation at the top, and there was animated Ahsoka. She goes, "We're not watching a cartoon, are we?"
Yeah, so many people are like that. They're like, "I don't want to watch a cartoon." I'm like, "All right."
That's the thing though. Like, and I I love Rebels, but I get it though. It's like there was someone asked this question online. It's like, is animation as good as live action? Yeah, but there's like this stigma for animation that still lives in North America, especially where it's like if it's animated, it's a lesser medium and it's for kids, and so you don't want to watch it, you don't appreciate it as much as live action, and so it's always live action. And to be honest with you, Brock, to be fully honest with you, that's how I am with Ninja Turtles. I can't wait to see this new Ninja Turtle movie. I just haven't been able to. But if it was live action, I would probably have seen it in the theater. Like I would have forced my daughter in there. But like, because when I was a kid, Ninja Turtles cartoon was on every Sunday. Yeah. And then there was a live action movie, and there's something special about it for me. Like Star Wars is different. Like I think I can weave in and out of Star like Rebels. I still think is probably the best show, but like I don't know, it sucks because like Clone Wars, there's so much good in Clone Wars as well, and Rebels is so solid that you would hope that this show would make people go back, but they won't.
Maybe I don't know. It's hard to say. Like people are strange. I don't know. It's I loved it. I hope Rebel Moon does well, so that Star Wars is like, oh, we should make it look like this. But I feel like the set decorations in this, and I don't know, did they shoot any of this in the volume?
I probably, I think so.
Like the whole episode 2 with that like map rock thing where they could put the little ball in, like that was like, I love that. Like the action scenes with Ahsoka just fighting robots with lightsabers is like, it looks sick. Like it looked really, really good. I don't know. I was thinking about it as I rewatched the second episode. I'm like, is this the Ahsoka that we see in the cartoons? And it's like, I think it might be. Like I feel like, as I'm sure Rosario Dawson's doing her own thing, and that's cool. But like, I was like, yeah, the Ahsoka she's playing is the Ahsoka we see in Rebels. Oh, and then when someone called her Fulcrum in the first episode, I'm like,
me too. That was the ship. I think that was like the call sign. He said, the robot Hyundai or whatever said, Fulcrum. I was like, and I tried to explain it to Erin, and she did not care. She's like, so what?
Yeah. So, but like the episodes were solid. Seeing Sabine, seeing Hera, we got Chopper. There was other things. Oh, like Clancy Brown returning, I assume, as his character for Rebels. Like that, I like never thought of that. Like he literally looks like his character, so it's like it's easy, put him in, and his voice is amazing. And just like Lothal looks like perfect. Lothal. It looks perfect. It's just like awesome. Oh, the Lothcat. The Sabine's Lothcat. Like you will always win me with the practical puppeteering. Like it looks so good. Yet, you're like, that's a puppet, but you're like, that looks real. That looks, if that thing was Lothcat was a creature, that's what it would look like. I think it's fantastic. Visually, like I think you could watch this without any sound, no problem. But like the sound, the music was good in it too. Like, which I don't really get too excited. One thing I got annoyed with was we're so used to like the concept art at the end of Mandalorian, so like the screensaver that is the the opening credits is such a rip off. Like the open credits like crawl, like not the actual cold opens, but like the where you see the star maps. I'm like, this is literally Game of Thrones opening. I was just like sitting there and you see like the lines and the circles of the star maps. I'm like, da 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 Ahsoka. Like if you watch at least one episode of Game of Thrones, it's like the map creating itself, and I'm like, this is such a ripoff. But then like the end credits is the same thing. You're expecting something because it hasn't gone to the like. Should watch this next. It was like, oh, are we gonna get a scene? And I'm like, of course not. Like, just like watch this cool blue with gold go over. I'm like, I was like, come on, man, give us concept art.
Yeah, I like the concept art too.
Yeah.
I don't remember the opening credits. I kind of like phase out.
Exactly.
You know what though is like I've never watched Paramount Plus shows before,
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron watched the line, and now and then she watched one of the Yellowstone shows, like 18 whatever, and they were the same freaking opening credits. I was like, did they go through the same template?
Yeah,
and like it was like the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's what they do now. They're like, well, we'll do the same 4 templates for everybody, and we'll move on. I don't remember. Did I watch the opening credits for Ahsoka? I probably blacked out. I was like, this is exciting.
Like, I'm all for Star Wars does this a lot where it's like there's a sting and it's like 30 seconds. Like Mando does that. Bad Batch does that. I can't think of what. Book of Boba Fett, I think, did that. It's just like, give us a title card, give us the title name or whatever, and then move on. Like, so, I think this episode, the Master and Apprentice episode, is like I never really realized that it's kind of more specific to Sith. Like, though, like Master and Apprentice with Jedi is a thing, but there's always 2, Master and an Apprentice. Is like, oh yeah, that's like straight up Sith. They talk about that constantly. But so I was like, oh, interesting. I think the story is going to be very good once we've come to the end. Like, I think. Like it's Filoni. It's Filoni writing its stuff, and it's just like I feel like he doesn't care if like anyone understands why these characters are important until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like no, they keep letting me do my project where I keep bringing back my characters. I'm like, I would do the same.
Yeah, no, I don't know where we're going with these characters, and I can't wait to like the 2 Dark Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see where we go though, because they were great. I thought the opening with them in it, although the trailer kind of took away from it, I thought that was a great opening for a series, as for a Star Wars series especially, where it comes in guns a-blazing, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I like right away, I was off the bat. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I'm in. I know what I'm watching. I know what this is.
Yeah, and like
I'm happy.
I really like that the real bad the really villain is this Morgan Elsbeth character that like Ahsoka puts in jail. Again, Star Wars to a T, where you're thrown into the action and they talk about stuff that you don't get to see. But I was like, is she from the Shadow Council in Mandalorian? And she is, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's like also she's a oh God, Dark Sister? No, that's
Night
not right.
Sister.
Night Sister. And I was like, I'm like, that's cool.
I heard that. Cool. I heard that months ago that she was a Night Sister, and I was like, nice. Oh, it was confirmed. Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know where I heard it. It was like in passing. Like someone's like, well, she's a Night Sister. I go, what?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And she was, of course, in that episode of Mandalorian, which is great.
I really like that idea because it's like now it's not just they like the Mando, and now I'm sure it's gonna happen in this. Like they like pointing out that like as much as there are your Emperor and your Darth Vader and your Sith and what have you that are pulling threads behind the scenes, there's like also some of these people just buy into the Empire.
Yeah.
Like they're for it. But like I like that there's this Night Sister in the Shadow Council, so it's like, oh, we do have like a villain. Like actually the temple that Ahsoka finds the map ball, whatever, at the beginning of that first episode, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Tell me about all these people on the wall. It didn't occur to me as like, oh, it's females and cloaks is like Night Sisters. I was just like, oh yeah, I think even Heidi says like there's an Indiana Jones vibe to a lot of these episodes. Seeing those temples, I'm like, I want to know more about that stuff. And I'm like, please, James Mangold or whatever his name is, please make your movie. Because I'm like, something 10,000 years in the future, like that, I think that would be really fun and interesting. So,
yeah. Did my mic just unplug?
No, I can hear you.
Great. Something unplugged. I don't know what it was. I heard the boom sound effect. Aaron, did you like Ahsoka?
Yeah, it was good.
She didn't like it.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, it was good.
She's just being supportive.
Jump up and down. What was your favorite part? The cat. Didn't even no hesitation. The cat.
It doesn't have a name. It could be Dusty Rose.
Doesn't matter. It was the cat. She's like, the cat. I like the cat. Every time I laughed at screen, she was, oh, I want that cat. I'm like, you have that cat on your lap right now. It's the same freaking thing. Remember last year around this time, you're like, James, it was actually around this time, you're like, James, did you get a cat? Because the cat was in the garage.
Hey.
Meow. Meow. Now the thing cost me a fortune.
That's when I learned things about my friend through the podcast.
Well, we were trying to get rid of the cat because Aaron's allergic, but she's not that allergic to this cat. So it was the whole thing was weird. Yeah, I'm curious to see where these episodes go. What it's going to take more of. The other thing that kind of drove me nuts is the Sabine, Ahsoka, like how they're not like talking anymore because things happened off screen. Can we stop with things happening off screen? Like every time I watch a movie now, it's like something happened in between movies. I'm like, why? Why can't it happen during it? Like, why can't I? It's always like, well, it was like in The Force Awakens, it's Han and Leia. Then The Last Jedi, it's Luke Skywalker. And in Scream, it's David Arquette. And then in Ghostbusters, it's Dan Aykroyd. And it's like, oh my God, man. Can like you guys just like not? It's like the writers are like, what's more interesting? It's like, no, it's tired now. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Everyone's we know you're going to be friends. Just let's just like go past this now. So that was good. It didn't drive me like over the top nuts, but I'm like, really, you're really playing this. Like there could have been something else going on again. But then she got stabbed through the abdomen, and that really like I was like, that's worse. That's worse. Bye, Dale. That's worse.
Yeah, like I was sort of mad because I think I said this like when the first trailer, the last trailer came out where Sabine says master, and I'm like, please be sarcastic, please don't be a Jedi, please don't be a Jedi. So I was wrong, but
there is she does get trained by Kanan, and he's like, what is unplugging? I'm like, and he does say that the Force flows through everything. You just have to,
of course,
like want it, and I guess now she wants it.
I was like,
but Ahsoka needs another Jedi because there's 2 Sith.
Yeah,
there's 2 Dark Jedi, so they need a second Jedi to fight the 2 Jedi. What do you think of the Inquisitor before we move on?
I thought it was cool. He reminded me of I forget what the Batman in The Boys is. The show The Boys. They have their evil Justice League, and there's like Homelander, Superman, Queen Maeve is Wonder Woman. There's like a quiet guy in a black suit. That's basically Batman. I forget what his name is, but I was like, that's that guy. But then, of course, I love like he's in the background of I think in the first episode, and then he turns around and he has the Inquisitor lightsaber on his back. And, like there's a bunch of moments like that where like Filoni's like, by the way, this is for my fans. So, but does that Inquisitor have a name yet? I did not catch. Morok or Korok?
Yeah, Morok.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Some people are thinking that he's going to be a Star Killer.
Right.
That was the big theory was that he was Star Killer.
Interesting. I don't know. The one thing about these 2 episodes is like it doesn't tell you a ton. It tells you like these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. Things aren't as ideal as they could be. So yeah. So I don't know. Like it's like we've got 3-4 villains so far, and we still have Thrawn to come up to. So it's like, Oh.
Yeah, if Thrawn's even a big deal in this, right? He might just come in for the last couple episodes. Although they showed him in the trailer, though, so you'd think he's in more than it. But yeah, he might just come in the last few episodes. Who knows?
I don't know. And it's like, it definitely seems like we're going to be talking a lot about dimensions and like Sabine talking about in the beginning of the first episode where it's like, it was a map and it's going to something in between galaxies. And I was like, does that mean like a galaxy is a whole bunch of things, or is like the whole Star Wars galaxy one galaxy and there's another galaxy that's like light years away? So it's like, what does that mean? Like, I hope if they're gonna do dimensions like World Between Worlds, which will be cool to see, like that could be divisive in the Star Wars world. So who can say? I don't know.
I mean, they brought in the Night Sisters for real now. They're not just mentioned. I think they're mentioned in Book of Boba Fett. Now you see a Night Sister, and they refer to her as a witch. So now the live action world has witches. So now the door is more open for World Between Worlds and that kind of things for the everyday audience to kind of get them now.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to work slowly to do these. Whether or not we get it, who knows?
Yeah.
But the door is more open for it now than it ever has been. Like the minute she was like, "Oh, you're a witch," it's like things are changing now. I mean, and I don't think that didn't throw Aaron off so much because she's played Fallen Order. But I think, again though, the live action, my parents haven't played it, your parents haven't played it, but now they watch this, they're like, okay, all right.
So they're just like, that's a
witches
villain
in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But then like, there are witches in Star Wars. Are they gonna wear black pointy hats?
Yes,
Brock, exactly. This is not my Star Wars, Brock. It's not my Star Wars. Anyway, I can't wait for. I love Inquisitors, and I love that he had the spinny lightsaber and he threw it and it came back to him and it looked cool, and I'm all in. You want to go to the odds?
Let's do it.
Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to us by Patreon.
Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do and you think it's great, why don't you come support us at patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast, where you can be the true fan of us. And there's so many people that love us, like the following: Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanford, Rez, Scott D,
Josh Price, Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Den of Nerds, and Dale Erdman. Dale is in the house. Thank you so much for all of your support, Patreon. Here we go. Never Tell Me the Odds.
Yes.
Never Tell Me the Odds. Will Balin be redeemed?
What did he do? Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't even know if he's evil yet, honestly, which could be fun if he isn't. But I am going to go 40%.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't really know if he's even. Well, he is bad. He killed people, but we don't know too much about him. I would say I'm gonna go full Brock on this. I don't know what Filoni's plan is with these two characters. Because again, we could be like, well, they're not around in the sequel trilogy. Well, nobody is, and we've been introduced to a bazillion new people who, Anyway, I'm going to go full Brock on it because there you go.
Boom.
Next on, Sabine will use the Force in the finale and not until the finale. So she won't use the Force in any episode until the very last one. And then she'll be like, Force push, pull down Star Destroyer, Force push, lightsaber away. Dun, 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 Sabine.
I'm going to go 20%. It all hinges on if Ezra actually returns in this season. If they do more than one. Like, I don't know.
So happy we saw a hologram right away, by the way.
Yeah, like that would be the best flex. It's like, haha, it was just a hologram and flashbacks or whatever. But I'm gonna go low. I feel like you've already set it up. It's gotta happen faster than the last episode. How many episodes does the season have?
8?
6? 8?
I think it's 8, so we got 6 to go. 6 weeks. That's a lifetime. I'm gonna go 47%. I think she's gonna use it next week. Episode's gonna start with her lifting a rock. 100%. So that's where I am on that. And our final odd today. Never tell me the odds. Zeb will show up. Will we see Zeb? Good old Zeb.
They have the CG files already done. Like it's done. Just do it.
Yeah, like was him and Mandalorian a precursor to what we're getting?
Though I believe, what is his name? Who voices it? I'm totally blanking. He's been asked if he is in the show, and he said no. But I'm like, that could easily be a lie because it's like, why not? But yeah. Oh, sorry. 95%.
I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go 77%. Because he might also have been in Mandalorian because we're not getting him in the show, and they were like, you know what, we should put him in this show so fans don't cry that he's not in it. But you know, if it is big enough, at some point you think, like Freddie Prinze Jr. said, he's never coming back to Star Wars. We'll see when that dump truck full of money shows up, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go 77% on that one because you know, I mean, we all want Zeb. Who doesn't like Zeb?
Yeah.
And it might not make sense for him to show up. That's why I'm leaving that 23% out of there. But 77%, he's showing up. All right, you want to go to news?
Let's do it.
Hollow news, da 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 da. Hollow news, da 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 da. My singing voice is better than ever. Da 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 da. Okay, my mic's off.
Hollow news, the news you need to know right now. Night Dive Studios, the Portland-based game developer behind this year's System Shock remake and the recent remaster of Quake 2, announced on Wednesday that it is partnering with Lucasfilm Games to release a remastered version of Star Wars Dark Forces, the 1995 first-person shooter developed by LucasArts. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster will use the studio's proprietary KEX engine support up to 4K resolutions at 120 frames per second, feature modern gamepad support, remastered cutscenes, and add trophies and achievements to the original game experience. Players assume the role of Kyle Katarn, a mercenary hired by the Rebel Alliance to discover and destroy the Galactic Empire's Dark Trooper project, a clandestine military operation created to develop force-sensitive stormtroopers and battle droids. Star Wars Dark Forces features several memorable locations from the original trilogy, including the interior of a Star Destroyer and Jabba the Hutt's desert yacht, as well as new locations unique to the game. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster will be released on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X later this year. So James is fully allowed to play this one if he has time. Star Wars Ahsoka is now streaming on Disney Plus, as we have been talking about for the last 40 minutes. And U.S. subscribers to Disney Plus have a perk that they can take advantage of starting today, August 23rd. Is that the actual date? Yes, it is. And concluding on September 1st, during this window, subscribers will have early access to highly anticipated toys, apparel, and collectibles inspired by the show. Note that the merch will only be available in Disney Plus primary profiles in the U.S. that have been verified as 18 and older. If you meet all the requirements, simply visit the Shop Disney Star Wars page during the special access window and log in with your Disney Plus credentials to score your gear. Highlights include the Ahsoka Legacy Saber set, priced at $319 US in the US dollars. This is all in US pricing. The Ahsoka pullover hoodie, $34 to $54. A Star Wars chopper, interactive remote control astromech droids, $99. An Ahsoka bust, $130. A Loungefly mini backpack, $88. And an Ahsoka mug priced at $20 USD. If you're game for that awesome lightsaber and Shoto saber set, we highly suggest grabbing it while you can. It might not survive the early access window. And as we mentioned earlier, the Rebel Moon trailer has dropped on YouTube. So check it out. If you like Dune, if you like Star Wars, or you just like Zack Snyder, pretty sweet stuff. Let us know what you think in the comments. And this has been Hollow News.
I feel like we need to release a record, like an album.
Yeah.
Of that song.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's its own B-side, Brock.
Yeah, it's only B-sides.
Yeah, it's only B-sides. And the album is called this B-side is the A-side.
The B-side is back.
B-side.
Go B-sides.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're going to get to play video games on the PS4 for longer. Just so you know, very excited about that because I don't want to buy a PS5. It is on my daughter's birthday list.
Oh,
yeah. Erin found out. She wasn't too happy, but like all she wants is a PS5. She walks up to me. She goes, "Dad, PS5," and I go, "Yeah."
We have to get ready for Grand Theft Auto 6.
You know, I've never played a Grand Theft Auto game.
Oh my god,
I've never played Grand Theft Auto. It's just it doesn't interest me. Dude, I can't wait for Mario Wonder though. Mario Brother Wonder coming out.
Yeah,
with a new Mario voice in it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Voice of Mario. I guess they just found somebody cheaper to do the same voice.
They're like, this is borderline racism.
But it's the same. Like, did you see the Wonder trailer? It just sounds like someone's doing the same voice.
No, I haven't seen it. I'm like, I will watch it when it happens.
I'm gonna get that game. I can't wait. Ninja Turtles also comes out in a couple weeks. Very excited about that. I pre-ordered Brock. I couldn't get the NES game, but I pre-ordered Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game soundtrack on vinyl record.
Wow.
And now my daughter can't go to college. Heidi says I need a Let's Play channel. I was playing I finally played my Switch for the first time during my pat leave, like for like a minute and a half. I played it like 3 times since. I played my 3DS the other night. Nintendo's fun.
Cool, man.
I was playing Star Wars Pod Racer. That's
nice.
Because it's freaking awesome. Top 5 moments from the Ahsoka series so far.
You want to go first or me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. I have to open it up. It took me forever. I couldn't think of it. There were a lot of great episodes, but there were great moments. But there wasn't like that big like whoa moments.
Yeah, exactly.
5. The opening crawl threw me for a loop. That's my number 5. The opening crawl. We got an opening crawl in red. Do you wish there's a part of you, Brock, wish that it was like a regular crawl?
No. That my number 5 is the crawl as well. And I was just like, it got me in right away. I like that it was different, like visually and just vibe. It wasn't like, it wasn't the pomp and circumstance of the usual crawl. Like, I think it's kind of nice. It's sort of like signaling to you is like, we're going to do what George does, but we're going to change it just a little. So like, if you don't hear the audio, but you see the visuals, like, oh, that's a Dave Filoni crawl. That's not a George Lucas crawl. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, and it was like, this is the TV crawl. Like, this is like the small screen version of the crawl. Like, it's not a crawl, it's text. It's getting you up to speed. Now you're good to go. I like that's my number 5. Nice. Number 4, the speed chase on Lothal with Sabine when she ditched the ceremony, and I was like, this is Rebels, man. This is I love Lothal. We always talk about, are we going to see Lothal in live action? We were on Lothal for quite a bit in live action. Yeah. It was good to see. Aaron's number 5 through 1, by the way, is Lothcat.
Lothcat.
She just shook her head at me.
My number 4 is Chopper. You knew he was going to be on this. Like, I was just in. Like, I was just like, perfect. Thank you. Perfect. I could just listen to Hera talk to Chopper for like a full episode.
Episode 5, that's all episode 5 is. It's just Chopper and Hera on a mission together.
I mean, it is a Filoni show, so there might be an episode in the middle of this series that has nothing to do with anything, and you're just like,
that's true. Did Shaggy was like that Ahsoka was drinking Starbucks in that one scene? I was like,
I didn't catch that.
I was like, she's drinking. She had like a coffee cup in her hand,
and then she leaves it, right?
Yeah. Like, what's happening here? My number 3 Lothcat.
My number 3 is not Lothcat. But go ahead. That's it.
Your number 3 is Lothcat?
No, it's not.
No, that was my number 3.
All right. Do you have any more on that or just Lothcat?
Just Lothcat. Just every time the Lothcat was on screen. Perfect. I see what you did.
My number 3 is Sabine on the motorbike. That looks sick. I want that helmet. Looks awesome. Like it's just It's like almost an apology for like the biker gang and the what were the alien?
Yeah, the mod kids.
Yeah, mod kids. But like in Ninja Turtles, what were those guys?
Oh
Newtonians? Neutronian. Yeah. It was all like that wasn't really like a motorcycle chase. I'm like, okay, here you go. So like that's sick. That's my number 3.
Neutrinos. Was it neutrinos?
Neutrinos. That's
Neutrinos. They were never my favorite, by the way. I wasn't really into the neutrinos.
And there's neutrinos in the new Ninja Turtles, so I'm really hoping for you to watch it so we can talk about that.
Did you see it? Did you see Barbie?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I loved it. It was great.
Brock loved Barbie.
And it was like I went to see it on like in the first week, but in the afternoon after the premiere.
Yeah.
And people were still showing up in pink. And I'm like,
well, it made
that's it.
Whatever $1 billion.
And
honestly,
totally.
and everyone's like, well, they need more of this and that. It's like, no. If you have an IP that people like, and you stick to it being that IP, and you don't like. They use so much pink. I was at a birthday party for Fantasia, and one of his friends' wives was like, they use so much pink, they ran out of pink. This is going to be a great movie. I'm like, that's your marketing. It's like you are making a movie for the people that want to see your damn movie. You're not like, and Mario Brothers was the same thing, right? Like the 2 highest movies this year were like, they didn't BS anything. They're like, this is it. This is it. I mean, I know Barbie's got messages and blah, 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 from what I hear, but like, you make something that people want and they're going to go see it.
Yeah.
Number 2. Map Planet.
Map Planet.
Planet. I don't know what it was called. I can't remember what it's called, but it looked amazing. Like I said, it was up there with the eye. And I loved it.
Yeah. My number 2 is Lothcat. Practical puppets. God bless.
No, that's my number 3. Map Planet. Practical maps on planets. That was a real map. Imagine they just had a projector and that's all it was. God, I would buy that though for like my yard. If they were like, here's a light, like a map light I would buy that. I'd be outside like, look at this. This is amazing. It's gorgeous. And my number 1 Balin hallway scene. Not as epic as the Vader one. It doesn't have the stakes of the Vader one as well, but it was a lot of fun. It was cool. It was a great introduction to this character and to the show. And that is my number 1.
My number 1 is similar, I suppose, but white lightsabers are back. Ahsoka with her lightsabers, like that opening
big time back
fight where like she just drops into the hole and then makes little holes and they fall through. I'm like, this is awesome. It's like you kind of, because in the cartoon she's like sprightly and she jumps and just sort of is silent, like she's like a Catwoman character where she's just like in and out. So it's like I think it translates pretty well for like live action. I think I don't know. I'm gonna rewatch these episodes a bunch of times for sure.
Me too. They weren't that long. I mean, maybe they were, but yeah, they didn't feel that long. The only one, like the first episode felt like it cut short, but the second one did. The second one felt complete to me. But yeah, that's it. Okay, Ninja Turtles or Barbie? Which did you like more? Are they too different to even like debate?
Ninja Turtles was 1 hour and 40 minutes. Barbie was almost 3 hours.
No, Barbie's almost 3 hours.
Something like that, 2.5 maybe.
I don't know if I could sit through that.
Barbie has a really good sort of message. It's like really well done story. And like the social media memeableness of it is wild. There's so many things that are good in it. But then, yeah, like Ninja Turtles, like again, it was the same like vein of like, we know what you like, and if you don't like Ninja Turtles, we're also giving you something totally new I think it was awesome. I'm a fan of Spider-Verse, so like this animation is similar to an extent. Like it's nice to look at. So I can't compare them. They're both good. I guess it's like how much time do you have? I guess it's like
we got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have to sell me. I'm a Ninja Turtle guy through and through.
Yeah.
So like that. Like Barbie, I mean, my sisters played with Barbies when I was a kid, and I can tell you I had never touched a Barbie, and I was always like, what? These are stupid. But my sister would play Ninja Turtles with me. It's funny how that works. You won't. But Aaron wants to see the Barbie movie, so I will at some point see that movie when it's digital. They have a digital release date for it. I can't remember what it is. I think it's September. It's probably after Blue Beetle, but it's coming out. It's going to hit digital. I think it's early September, actually. It's going to be on digital. I don't know when it's going to stream. I'm not paying for it. Are you crazy? $30 to buy it? Not going to happen. But I will see Barbie, and we'll see. You know what? Okay, here's my one thing with Barbie that really kind of turns me off of it. And I'm the only one on earth that feels this way. Is I'm getting very tired of like everybody that's in that movie. I'm like Margot Robbie. I'm like, okay, she's in everything. Ryan Gosling, he's in everything. Shang-Chi he just annoys me. I like Michael Cera. I'll give him a pass. Will Ferrell, I'll give him a pass. Who else is in it? There's other people. I'm like, actually, the rest of them don't really annoy me. But those ones, like the main characters, I'm like, you guys are in everything. I'd really go for. I don't know. I'm just tired of Hollywood. How about that?
Yeah.
Tired of Hollywood. Yeah, I'm going to go see Ninja Turtles, which has every comedian on the face. I'm sure. Does Michael Cera have a voice in it?
No. But it's great. It's just like I think Seth Rogen has said this in a bunch of interviews because he produced it as well. It's legit like a movie that like, hey, remember all the toys you love? Well, here are all those characters again. I know that was sort of the concept of the original show anyways, but like
the original show created the toys, right? It was like they made they put them in the show so they could have the toy, yeah.
Like they even have Mondo Gecko have the little skateboard on his tail, like the action figure.
I have that figure, yeah.
He looks totally different outside of that part, like, but it's just like it's cool. It's a solid flick. I enjoyed it thoroughly, so
can't wait to watch it. That one, if I could sneak out too, I totally would, but I can't right now. So it's killing me not to see. I play Shredder's Revenge and Cowboy Collection to make up for it. Like that's actually what I played on the Switch when I finally turned it on. I went to the Nintendo thing and I was like, I want to play some Shredder's Revenge. So I did that. All right. Well, thanks for ruining my night. Ahsoka though, love Ahsoka. Can't wait for more of it. Can't wait for Andor season 2.
Yeah.
By the way, that'll be exciting. We gotta talk next week. We should talk about Ahsoka, but there's only gonna be one episode, so we can also talk about Donald Glover writing the Lando show. We should talk about because that's because we haven't talked about that, and I know you're a big Donald Glover fan and you love Atlanta, so I want to hear what your thoughts on that are. Mine are positive. Like I don't know how that's a negative at all, but I know you hate everything, so you're gonna come in here just like this is the worst news you've heard since Barbie.
Like fire her.
Have you seen Oppenheimer?
No, I don't. I want to see it, but I also. Again, 3 hours. Like, come on.
So if you go to see Barbie and Oppenheimer on the same day, like so many people did, that's like a 7-hour day, like 6 hour. God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fantasia saw Ninja Turtles and Barbie on the same day. He's like, he couldn't for some reason. Probably because of the length, actually. That probably makes sense. He loves long movies, but at some point you have to like have a life.
I'm all for it, but it's just like 3 hours. It's when you get like an hour and a half movie, like nice comedy, comedies aren't being put into theaters anymore. They're on Netflix, no. So it's like, but you're like, hey, you want to take a chance on this sitcom comedy that's an hour and a half? Absolutely. And then you're like, that was pretty good.
And then comedies shouldn't be long anyway. They make you laugh and leave. But did you hear the thing before we stop? The guy, that comedian who was like, they don't make comedies anymore because Marvel killed comedies. And people went after him for, what's that guy's name? The guy, he's the guy, what's his name? Anyway, he said that. He's like, they don't make comedies anymore because people go to see Marvel movies, and Marvel movies are funny, but they're not comedies. And people like attack, like, you're an idiot. Your movies aren't funny. I'm like, the movies might not have been funny they might not have been funny. I don't know who he is. Might not have been funny, but he's not wrong. He's 100% right. Marvel, like the big budget movies, have like almost killed the small movies now. They don't make small movies anymore. Like the movies we just talked about are all massive movies. You don't go to the theater anymore to watch Garden State. You know what I mean? Not that that's a comedy, but you don't go to watch those anymore. Yeah. They're on streaming now. Yeah. And he's not wrong. Like Marvel's the big one, so that's what you use. But it kind of has like people will go. And what he mentioned though was like they spend $200+ million on a Marvel movie, and a comedy spends $20 million. Yeah. You're going to spend the same amount of money to go see the movie, and you're going to feel like you're getting more value out of the one that costs more. And I think he's 100% right.
Yeah, I didn't go see what was the new Wes Anderson movie? Rocket. What was that called? The Wes Anderson movie. Asteroid City.
Oh, I want to see it.
It looks awesome, and I want to see it. And I'm like, I need to see this in theater, but I won't. Just like you live in the woods. You're the only person that wants to go see that movie with me. So like,
I know. And the thing is, even if we went to see it, I explained to someone why I hadn't seen like a Marvel movie in forever. It's like it takes like since my daughter was born, it takes me 40 minutes to go to a theater. Okay, so that's like just getting there. Yeah. Then you're there. Then the movie's however long it is. Then I've got to do the 40 minutes back. So whatever that is, that's 80 minutes on top of like the 7-hour movie that I'm watching.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that's why when I saw Mario Brothers, Andrew was like, "I want to see it with you." I'm like, "Then we got to pick a day. I got to talk to Aaron about it."
Yeah,
I've got to like look after it. Then we've got to like plan. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah. Like when I didn't have a kid, it was like pick up and leave, right? But now it's like, okay, well, you have a person to keep alive. You've got the priorities. So, I have to wait for streaming for like Ninja Turtles, which I'm dying to see, but whatever. It'll come out sooner than later. And I'll probably buy it soon. Like I haven't seen Spider-Verse yet because it's like, I think it's like $30. And I'm like, can't do that. But when it goes down, I'll probably pick it up or I'll rent it or it'll be streaming soon. So I can't wait to see that either. Dude, 12-year-old James, Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, Flash and Batman, Mario Brothers, Scream. What else has come out this year? There's like so much that I'm like, oh my god, this is like the year of me. It's just like all my favorite. Archie Riverdale's ending today. Today's the finale. I haven't seen it in forever, but there's the other Archies is coming out, like Indian Archies or something. Can't wait for that, by the way. I don't know what it is. It's on Netflix. I don't know what it is. Can't wait for it though. It looks amazing. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh god, here we go. But yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Rebel Scum podcast will be at Fan Expo this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, or as Americans say, Toronto, Canada. Fun stuff happening there. Not with us. We're just going. But Hayden Christensen's there. Gwendolyn Christie's there. Ashley Ecclestein and the main two dudes, Matt Lanter from Clone Wars / Rebels / whatever. They're there doing a panel. That's exciting. There's Star Wars stuff happening. There's something else, but there's a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. So I will try to take videos and what have you. And there's news, whatevs. But yeah, Rebel Scum podcast will be there. Be there, be square. Convention time, baby.
My Mando
from the Dollarama.
From Dollarama. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Brock, do a video, Brock, so that they don't hate us when you go.
Yeah,
that'd be great. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. The comments were awesome as always. You guys are really cool. But Brock, you are always scum.
Rebel Scum.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.